Hello students, welcome back. Today we will discuss some more concepts from molecular biology. So today's topic is the genetic material is DNA. Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase conducted further experiment to establish that DNA is a genetic material. They used viruses for the study of genetic processes because why they are used viruses for the study of genetic processes? Because the viruses have a simple structure and viruses have simple chemical composition and the viruses have a high rate of reproduction. Due to these reasons, they used viruses for the study of genetic processes. So which virus they are used? They used bacteriophages. So what is meant by bacteriophage? So viruses that infect bacteria are called bacteriophages and proved that genetic information of the bacterial virus was present in its DNA. So they proved that genetic information which is transferred from one generation to another generation is present in DNA, that is proved by this Hershey and Chase by using bacteriophage. Let's see how these bacteriophages will infect or will affect the bacteria. How? So now let's see the bacteriophage have very simple structure. It consists outer coat and inner core of DNA molecule. Inside genetic material DNA and it is surrounded by a protein coat. Now, this bacteriophage attaches to the bacterial cell and injects the genetic material, that is DNA or maybe RNA, whatever may be the genetic material into the bacterial cell. So let's see how it will be. So now here it is the this structure is the bacteriophage. This structure is a bacteriophage. So now this bacteriophage have a protein coat that is called as capsid. You may study it in first PU. So capsid outer protein coat. This is the capsid and this capsid encloses the genetic material DNA. Now, next point what we said here, bacteriophage attaches to the bacterial cell. So this is a bacterial cell, a bacterial cell, and this bacteriophage attaches to the bacterial cell. Bacteriophage, which attaches to the bacterial cell. And what will do after attaching to that, it injects the genetic material. So it is the genetic material of bacteriophage. It is a genetic material of bacteriophage. And now what will happen after entering that genetic material into the bacterial cell? What will happen? And remember, What is left outside here after infection? After infection means when it is attaches to the bacterial cell, it sends the DNA, but the protein coat is present outside only. Remember this point clearly. Then only you can understand Hershey's Chase experiment. The protein coat left outside, left left outside. Only genetic material injected into the bacterial cell. Then what next? Then the bacterial cell treats the viral genetic material as its own it treats that the viral genetic material as its own, and subsequently viral genetic material DNA replicates using protein synthesis machinery of the bacterial cell. So the protein synthesis machinery, the viral DNA, the genetic material which injected by virus, that genetic material uses protein synthesis machinery of the bacterial cell. What is that protein synthesis machinery? Now, the viral DNA replicate viral DNA replicate replication means synthesis the new DNA molecules, and the DNA molecules require nucleotides. That nucleotides collects from the cytoplasm of the bacteria, and new DNA molecules are formed. New DNA molecules are formed, and this new DNA transcribe, that means produce mRNA, and this mRNA carries the information from where? DNA. This DNA is acts as a viral DNA. That means the DNA is the viral DNA. It transcribes its information onto the RNA, that means mRNA, and this mRNA carries this to the ribosomes. Ribosomes, we know the function of the ribosome. In this ribosome, protein synthesis will take place. Protein synthesis. Protein synthesis is takes place. So protein synthesis means what is required? Protein is a polypeptide. Protein having polypeptides bond, polypeptide chains. Polypeptide chain. The polypeptide chains formed by amino acids. So this amino acid sequence information present in DNA. So now the RNA is having character of viral, because the RNA is transcribed from viral DNA. That's why this mRNA is also viral. This mRNA, based on the information on this mRNA, ribosomes synthesizing the proteins. These proteins are also acts as a virus. So now come to the last point. Subsequently, outer protein coats are made and number of viral particles are formed. So after using this machinery, it forms, replicates new DNA form, and surround that new DNA, protein coat is required. That protein coat itself, it is synthesized, the DNA, and form as a new viral particles. Means new offsprings of virus are formed within the bacteria. So after formation of virus inside the bacteria, it splits the bacterium and comes out that virus. Let's see. So now here the phase, bacteriophase, where it is? The bacteriophase, it is enters. The where bacteriophase DNA is replicates. So these are all replicates by using the machinery of that, and it formed the new DNA. And this DNA, using the protein synthesis machinery of bacterial cells, it forms its protein coat around the DNA of the virus. And the new viral particles or lysis break the bacterial wall and releases the bacteriophages. And these new bacteriophages again infect the new bacteria. The newly formed virus infect the new bacterial cells. So it is the same in any host. So virus if enters in our body cells, same. It injects its genetic material into our cells, and our cells protein synthesis machinery used by the viral cells. Finally, it makes our cells acts as a virus because of presence of viral genetic material. So this is a process of infection of this bacteriophage. So these bacteriophages, they are used to find the DNA is a genetic material to prove that they are used with this bacteriophage. Till now we learn how it will be infect the bacteria that we are studied. When it infects the bacteria, in this concept you need to remember 2 points clearly. One, when it infects, which one is left out? Protein coat is left out. Remember that protein coat. And second one, which one is injected into that? DNA is injected. And let's know the chemical composition of protein. So protein consists carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur elements. Remember, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur elements. And DNA consists carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus elements are present. Remember this. So which one is left out? Protein. Which one injected? DNA. And what is the composition? Protein composition is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur elements. And DNA composition is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus elements. This is the, remember these 2 points. Please remember it clearly. Now, Hershey and Chase bacteriophage experiment. Hershey and Chase used bacteriophage called T2, that is name of bacteriophage, for their experiments. So they worked to discover whether it was protein or DNA from viruses that enter the bacteria. So what they worked on this bacteriophage to discover the entered substance is whether protein or DNA. So now this bacteriophage T2 attacks the bacteria called Escherichia coli. It is a short form we call as E. coli or E. coli. So now these two scientists, Hershey and Chase, made two different preparations. They made two different preparations of T2 bacteriophages. what are the two preparation? One is containing radioactive sulfur. So sulfur is present in protein, so that's why in protein coat. And another preparation, radioactive phosphorus. Where it is present phosphorus? DNA. Already previously I said clearly, remember it. Protein consists carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur. So radioactive sulfur in protein coat and radioactive phosphorus present in DNA molecule. Now, how they prepared? Two different preparations. How they prepared? To prepare these bacteriophages containing radioactive sulfur or radioactive phosphorus, they made these bacteriophages infect Escherichia coli growing in specific media. So now to prepare this preparation, two different preparations with radioactive sulfur and radioactive phosphorus. So they made bacteriophage infect Escherichia coli growing in radioactive sulfur. Then what happens? All the bacteriophages protein coats consists the radioactive sulfur. And some of the bacteriophages infect Escherichia coli growing in radioactive phosphorus medium. So in that bacteriophages, this radioactive sulfur present in DNA, two preparations. So bacteriophages with radioactive sulfur in their protein coats. Second preparation, bacteriophages with radioactive phosphorus in their DNA. These two preparations they made. So after starting the preparations, then they started the experiment with radioactive phosphorus labeled bacteriophage with radioactive phosphorus experiment. So let's see what happens. Bacteriophage T2 particle in which the DNA was labeled with radioactive phosphorus when it is grown in the radioactive phosphorus medium. And this is mixed with Escherichia coli cells for a few minutes. What happens? In that few minutes, this bacteriophage infect the Escherichia coli. Infect means it attaches to the bacterial cell and it inject the DNA into the Escherichia coli. Now, the phage infected cells, that means these cells, the phage infected cells. This is normal bacteria. Phage infected cells. So the structure of this phage is like this. The phage infected cells are agitated in a blender. They are thoroughly shaked and mixed. Blender is nothing but mixed, thoroughly mixed. Then what happens? The phase protein capsules or coats were separated. When they mix, this part is separated from the infected cells by a low speed centrifugation. Now, the cells were found as a pellets while leaving the phase particles suspended. So now what happens in the test tube during centrifugation they are the cells, that is bacterial cells, are suspended at the bottom. This is the bacteria. and the supernatant, it is called as supernatant, which is float on the suspend particles. Now, all the radioactive was found inside the cell. Where the radioactive is present, already we said radioactive phosphorus is present in DNA. So now what happened here? The codes are left out. So the supernatant consists the protein codes. Supernatant consists the protein code. So in protein, there is no phosphorus. That's why there is no radioactivity in the supernatant. But the radioactivity present in this cell particles which are suspended at bottom, settled at the bottom, these cells consist that DNA. So that's why during centrifugation, DNA is not removed by shearing in a blender. Shearing means break off during mixing. So it breaks the protein codes from the surfaces, but DNA is not broken because it is present inside the cell. So phosphorus, radioactive phosphorus present within the cell, that's why it is not broken. But the radioactivity we could not find in the protein coat. So let's see that diagrammatic representation. The next. So now here it is clearly explained what we discussed in previous slide. So now normal bacterial cell, and these are all the bacteriophages. So we are already studied that outer protein coat, that region we will call as head. It consists protein coat or capsid. Protein coat also called as the capsid, and this capsid surrounds the DNA. So now we are allowing them to few minutes to infect this bacterial cell. So when it is infected, it releases its the genetic material. Total how many are there here? Total 5 we are showing in the diagram. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But inside there are only 4, 4 DNA strands are there. That means one is not properly infected. So the infected cells injects the DNA into the bacterial cell. Now after that what we are doing, this after infection we are blender, that means mixed. After mixing, what happens? During this blender, the protein coats are separated from the wall. Then this mixture is centrifugated. When centrifugated, so there are cells are settled at the bottom, suspended. This region, it consists the bacterial cells, and this supernatant consists the protein coats, protein coats, bacterial cells and protein coats. So now the bacterial cells already it is infected with a virus DNA. Already we are saying this virus DNA having the radioactive phosphorus. That means all the radioactive phosphorus is present in this bacterial cells, and the protein coats, they do not have no radioactive phosphorus. No radioactive phosphorus. Now, experiment with radioactive sulfur labeled bacteriophages. So now when we are cultured this T2 bacteriophages in the radioactive sulfur medium, the protein coats of bacteriophages were labeled with radioactive sulfur because proteins consist that sulfur, not DNA, and process is same. When these bacteriophages with this radioactive sulfur is mixed with Escherichia coli, and it is infects. That infected bacteriophages again agitated and blender mixed. And during centrifugation, the protein coats are comes into the supernatant, and bacterial cells are settled at the bottom. Then observed what will happen in that diagram. So now see this diagram. Same, the bacteriophages we are allowing to infected, and the genetic material is injected into the bacterial cells, Escherichia coli, and we are blender mixed, agitated and mixed. Then protein coats are separated from the bacterial cells. Then we are allow that mixture for centrifugation. Then during centrifugation, the cells are settled at the bottom, and protein coats are formed as a supernatant. So this supernatant consists protein coats. So where these bacteriophages are grown, protein coats. These bacteriophages grown in the radioactive sulfur. That means the protein coats consists this radioactive sulfur. Now we find that radioactivity in the protein coats, not in the bacterial cells, because the bacteriophage injected DNA, genetic material. The DNA do not consists. DNA do not know radioactive sulfur is present in DNA. So then they proved that the transforming, that means which one is transferred from parent to the progeny is DNA, not the protein. Results of Hershey and Chase experiment indicate that. So what shows this result? The DNA of virus enters the host to cell. Here host to cell is the bacteria. Host to cell is Escherichia coli is the host to cell. Whereas the protein code remains outside, present outside. So the progeny viruses are produced inside the cell. So what we are already discussed is that the DNA which is injected in the bacterial cell uses the protein synthesis machinery of bacteria, and forms the protein coats around its newly formed DNA, that is a newly formed virus inside the cell. The genetic information for the synthesis of DNA molecule and the protein coats of progeny virus must be present in the parental DNA. So bacteriophage consists DNA with radioactive phosphorus. When they are observed their progeny offsprings, their DNA is also consists this DNA with phosphorus. So the progeny particle shows the radioactive phosphorus, and none of the radioactive sulfur of the parental phase. So from parental phase means which is infected the bacteria. So here it is a bacteria, and it is infected with a viral phase, isn't it? This is a viral phase. So it infects the DNA. This DNA, by using protein synthesis machinery in bacteria, it replicate, produce the several DNA. Around this DNA, protein coat is synthesized. Then it is called as the progeny, new viral cell. And it is another new viral cell, and this is another new viral cell. When they analyze this composition, the protein coat is synthesized. Already we studied. this protein coat having the characters of virus. But this protein do not consist the sulfur, radioactive sulfur, because inside this cell there is no radioactive sulfur. Radioactive sulfur present in protein coat of parental bacteriophage, not a newly formed bacteriophage. Newly formed bacteriophage, newly formed viruses having radioactive phosphorus in the genetic material, not radioactive sulfur, because this radioactive sulfur is left outside the bacterial cell. Only they are infecting DNA with radioactive phosphorus that is transferred to the newly formed virus. Then they are concluded the inheritable material is DNA, not the protein. Now, properties of genetic material. The genetic material must fulfill the following criteria. So let's see what are that criteria followed by genetic material. First one, stably inheritable. It stably need to transfer from one generation to another generation without any deviation. And the genetic material should have a stable chemical nature and structure, that should have chemically and structurally stable. Next criteria, stably replicable. They need to have a stable replication capacity. Replication is nothing but synthesize their own molecule. That should be stable. And fourth criteria, should undergo evolution. The genetic material should undergo evolution by mutation or by recombination or by variation. That is another. And last criteria, should follow Mendel's law of inheritance. Then only it is considered as the genetic material. So whatever you are considering the genetic material, it should have this criteria. So DNA versus RNA, or a stability of DNA over RNA. It is simply we can say that differences between DNA and RNA. Both are nucleic acids and both are considered as genetic material. And RNA is the first genetic material because prokaryotes are evoluted first than eukaryotes. And some of the prokaryotes having genetic material as a RNA. So that's why the stability of DNA over RNA, when comparing the stabilities, the DNA having is more stable over the RNA. Let's see why it is more stable. So we are already studied that Hershey and Chase prove that DNA is transfers to the next generation, not the protein. And when we starting studying about this DNA and all, we said that it's several years till 20th century, they are believing that proteins are transferred from one generation to another generation. Proteins are considered as the genetic material. But in 1926 onwards, the discovery will reach up to molecular level. Then they are started to discover, that is started by the Griffith experiment is the initial step to know DNA is the genetic material, not the protein. So now in that, the first one is the replication. So that means synthesis of new molecule. So DNA and RNA, DNA, both nucleic acids have capacity to replicate on their own. Why they undergo replication? Because they have base pairing. Base pairing is there and complementarity. So the base pairing is complement to the another. So suppose DNA is a double helix structure. This strand is complementary to the another strand. Complementary to the another strand. That is why they are able to undergo replication. But protein cannot. That's why proteins are eliminated as a genetic material. And second criteria, chemical and structural stability. So Griffith experiment showed that even if heat killed bacteria, it did not affect the transforming principle. It now known that even if the two DNA strands are separated, they can come together under suitable conditions. So we know very well in the Griffith experiment. So first they injected the S strain, S strain, and mice is died. And second they injected R strain and mice is survived. And third they injected heat killed S strain, heat killed S strain, heat killed a strain, then mice is survived. And fourth step, they consist a mixture, inject the mixture of R strain and heat killed, but mice is died because by using the DNA strands of another bacteria, the S strain is transformed. So R strain DNA is transformed as a S strain DNA and it causes that pneumonia and kills the mice. However, RNA is highly degradable or easily degradable. When heat killed, also DNA is not destroyed. If it is separated also, when suitable conditions are there, then it is reforms. But RNA is degradable. Why? Because of presence of reactive hydroxyl group on second position. Then come to the structures of. So now DNA and RNA having a backbone molecules that is sugar and phosphorus. So both the DNA and RNA having pentose sugars. But in DNA, the pentose sugar is deoxyribo and RNA ribose sugar. So what is the difference between the two? So in RNA, the pentose sugar, and it consists five carbons. This is one, two, three, and it is four, and it's five carbon. So now on this second carbon in ribose sugar hydroxyl group was present, and similarly on third carbon hydroxyl group is present. Whereas this is in the case of RNA. Whereas if your observed DNA, if your observed DNA pentose molecule, second place, this is a one, and it is second, third, and it is 4, and it is a fifth carbon. On this second carbon it has only hydrogen, and third carbon same, it consists hydroxyl group. So this is the difference between the pentose sugars of DNA as well as RNA. So DNA have only hydrogen group on second carbon, but here in RNA, this second carbon consists hydroxyl group. Hydrogen and hydroxyl group. Hydroxyl group is more reactive. So due to presence of this more reactive group, it is easily degradable. Now, and RNA is also a reactive because it is a catalytic. So it controls the rate of reaction as an enzyme, that is ribozyme. It acts as a ribozyme enzyme. Next, why DNA is stable than RNA? Because the presence of a thiamine nucleo nitrogen base in DNA instead of uracil. Presence of thymine provides the stability to the DNA. We know that DNA consists adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, nitrogen bases in DNA. Whereas in RNA, adenine, guanine, cytosine, and uracil is present in the RNA. So presence of this thymine instead of uracil is also gets extra stability in this DNA. Hence, when compared the stability, DNA is more stable and less reactive, whereas RNA is less stable, less stable and more more reactive. So it is more reactive due to presence of hydroxyl group, hydroxyl group on second carbon, and it is less stable due to presence of uracil. Third criteria, should be able to undergo mutation. So now both DNA and RNA can mutate, undergo mutation. Since RNA is unstable, already we discussed unstable due to presence of uracil, it can mutate, it undergo mutation at a faster rate. The RNA viruses can mutate and evolve faster and they have shorter lifespan. Whereas DNA can mutate but on slower rate and have longer lifespan. Expression of the genetic message. So DNA requires RNA for expressing the genetic message by synthesizing the proteins. DNA requires RNA. How? Already central dogma. So DNA, it consists the information, but this information it cannot directly send to the ribosomes. How? This DNA copies it information to the RNA, that is particularly mRNA. mRNA. This mRNA brings that information to the ribosomes to synthesize protein. Whereas RNA can directly synthesize the protein. It can give direct access to the ribosomes to synthesize that protein. This shows that both DNA and RNA can act as a genetic material. However, DNA is preferred over RNA. DNA is most preferred as a genetic material over RNA because its stability in storing information. So DNA has more stability to store the information than RNA because of its chemical stability, because of its structural stability, because of its having that thymine instead of uracil. All these reasons, it has a stability to storing information. As DNA needs to transmit from parents to offsprings. So due to that reason, having that storing stability in storing information, it transmits from parents to the offsprings. RNA is more important in transmitting the genetic information. So RNA do not have more stability to storing information. But if DNA want to transmit that information, DNA compulsory depends on RNA. That's why RNA is important in transmitting the genetic information. So both are important. DNA having storing ability to store that information. If you want to transfer it, it requires RNA. Otherwise, directly it is not possible.